Good evening. This is Sri Primo along with my good friend Dr. Dan Kessler. We just wrapped up our NCAA preview and we are off to the Masters at Augusta. This is one of the most storied golf events, and it's one of the premier golf majors. So, Dan, good evening, and say hello to friends here.
Hello, friends. It's great to have you with us tonight to talk a little bit about the Masters, which signifies really for all golfers, both recreational and higher caliber golfers, kind of the beginning of spring and the beginning of golf season. When you start hearing that Masters theme music on TV in the weeks leading up to the Masters tournament, you kind of get that golf itch. And we're here to talk a little bit about the Masters tournament, maybe some memories from watching the tournament over the years, and then what our predictions are.
Absolutely. I still remember the comeback by Tiger Woods a few years ago. So I think after his injury, and I think he's back again. I think he's playing with Schauffele, I think, this time. But let's kind of go through who are the favorites for this Masters. I know the usual suspects. Scotty is playing pretty well, and he's probably one of the top golfers along with Jon Rahm. So, who do you think has the best chance to take home that green jacket, which is one that is given to every Masters champion by the previous year champion? So, looking forward to that. So, what do you think, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a good chance that the jacket will not be put on anyone else this year. I think it's going to stay on Scotty Scheffler's shoulders, to be honest. I think he's shown that he's still number one. He's proven it in several tournaments this year. Couple of victories on the PGA Tour already, and I don't see anyone really beating him necessarily. I think there's obviously several players that are going to challenge him, as Sri Primo over here said. Jon Rahm, if he's got as much talent as anyone, if he can just get the putter going, get a little hot with the putter, he can. His driver and irons are as good as anyone. Obviously, you got to also you can never rule out guys like Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. Spieth, won a commanding victory on this course for his first major tour victory, I think back in 2015.
I think that was one of the best putting performances that I've seen in Masters. So, I mean, about Jon Rahm and Scotty, I think there are others that, who have a pretty good chance. I know, to me, I would say Rory has been playing solid this year, and he was actually the face of the Netflix series. I mean, I think especially when all the Live Tour was going on. So I do think that he has a pretty good chance at making a run at this.
I just wonder, the only thing worries me about Rory, if it's in his head a little bit, this is the one event he needs to get the career Grand Slam. And you gotta imagine he feels a little bit of pressure, especially if he's near the top of the leaderboard on Sunday. As they say, the Masters doesn't begin till the back nine on Sunday. That's when it really gets going. And I know he had that lead several years ago, and he started the back nine with a couple out of bounds shots. And you gotta. I think it's just a little bit in his head, unfortunately, with Rory when it comes to this event. Other guys I would like to talk about, though, the two other guys, maybe Colin Morikawa. He's already won a couple majors. Young guy, he can.
British Open,
great ball, yeah. British Open and the PGA out at San Francisco, Harding Park during the COVID year, and he's as good a ball striker as anyone, and he could certainly get it going, light it up on this course, and anyone who's
Max Homa, I think he's actually been playing pretty well this year too, and there are other as well as obviously we have Brooks Koepka too, another multi major winner.
That's right.
He's in the hunt as well. And I mean, then Cameron Smith is somebody who's actually been playing pretty good golf this year as well. So I think that this field is actually wide open. I think in the past, I remember when Tiger was in the field, and there was always like, would you take Tiger or the field? I think this is going to be one of the. I think you're right. I mean, Scotty's probably has the best chance, but I think the field is wide open. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I fully agree. Like I said, I still think I would have to give a big. I really favor still Scotty, but I think one guy like who has performed well in this course the last few years, besides Scotty, is Cam Smith. Like Shree said over here, he's obviously went to the Live Tour last year after he won the British Open.
Right.
So the one thing that worries me about all these guys that go Live Tour is you just wonder the courses that they play aren't as challenging as tough, and it's not the same format as the PGA Tour. It's team format. It's very different. They're 54 holes. I know you got to wonder when they stand over that 10-footer, on the 17th or 18th hole on Sunday when they have a lead or need to make a putt to take the lead. If the reps that they've got on the Live Tour the last 3, 4, 5 months are enough to give them the poise to make that shot.
I remember Rory had the lead going in one of the Masters, and I think he fell apart. And I think he did come back afterwards. But I do think that this is not, this is probably the most pressure any golfer is going to have, especially on Sunday, because the nerves definitely get to them. And I think in the past, with Tiger Woods lurking in the corner, they would typically fall apart. And what do you think about Tiger's chances? And I know. Let's talk a little bit about that. And I think he did mention that he's actually striking the ball pretty well. But he's coming off like a very, very, almost like life-threatening injury. So do you think that not just Tiger, we also have the other golfer who went to the Live Tour, Phil Mickelson. They used to be the rivals. So what do you think are their chances? Not about winning. Do you think that
just competing
and making the cut?
Yeah, I think Tiger's got a shot definitely at making the cut. The thing you worry about with him is obviously his body after the catastrophic leg injury that he had. Obviously, it's still sore when he's out there having to walk, and this is no easy walk, Augusta. I've never been down there. It's one of my dream courses to go down there and watch at some point. But from what you can't appreciate it on TV, but from what everyone tells me, it's tremendously hilly, and it's going to be utmost challenging physically for him to walk that course. He obviously can't take a cart. It's not allowed. So that's, you got to worry about that. The majors he's played since his leg injury, it's been an issue. It's been, you could see him noticeably limping after 2 or 3 rounds. And the other thing is he just only plays, the majors now and maybe 1 or 2 other events. And when you're doing that, you just don't get the same reps. He's not the same steely nerves guy when he's making those 10-foot putts, like when he made it at Torrey Pines, that putt at the U.S. Open on Sunday to clinch the playoff. And those you just knew were going in. Now you kind of worry that those putts are gonna not even touch
Rocco,
the hole. Yeah, against Rocco Mediate.
Okay,
yes, back in 2008, I think Torrey Pines.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Tiger, it's great to see him. He's a great story. He moves the needle on TV, but but I just maybe hopefully he'll make the cut, but not much. I don't see him getting beyond inside the top 40.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it's definitely, there are a lot of, like we said, we do have Tony Finau. There are some excellent young golfers who have also
Will Zalatoris, another young guy.
Exactly. I think that's another person who was actually predicted. Yeah. So I think if you ask me, if I ask you, who would be your top 3 golfers to kind of, I think you did mention with Scotty, but who do you think are the other 2 that
So if I got to predict 3 here, let's each pick 3 and see how our predictions hold up. I'm going to go with myself. I'm going to go with Scotty Scheffler for the win. And then as far as 2nd and 3rd place, let's say Will Zalatoris. Even though he's coming off injury, he's played well at this course before. I'm going to go Will Zalatoris, and then for the Live Tour, Cam Young. I think Cam Young. Okay. Cam Smith. There's too many Cams out there. Cam Smith.
Yeah, yes. I think to me, I'm going to go. I think Scotty is the favorite pick, and since you picked Scotty, I'm going to go in the other direction. I might actually go with John Rahm, and I think Max Homa, and then followed by Colin Morikawa. So those would be my top 3 golfers. So let's see if our predictions come true, and we'll definitely be watching on Sunday when Jim Nantz is making I think it is his 38th Masters that he's calling, and it's incredible. And I know
since '86 or something. So
exactly, and I think and he just wrapped up his final season for the NCAA. What a great announcer! Probably one of my favorite announcers on TV. and even the way he calls the game. So I just wanted to make sure that we can, as we're wrapping up the Masters, we can do a little quick, like a 30-second to a minute tribute to Jim Nance. And what are your thoughts on that? Him wrapping up the NCAA tournament as well.
Yeah, so no, I mean, Jim Nance, what a remarkable career between doing this, obviously the voice of NFL football on CBS, the voice of March Madness, and the voice of, Masters golf for the last 38 or 39 years, and like I said, his voice is kind of synonymous with the Masters and springtime. Hate to get sappy here, but it's the truth. And he's just, a class act, great relationship with, all the PGA players. They all respect him. And he does his research, does all his preparation. He's never unprepared for a telecast or broadcast, and just a true gentleman in every sense.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it was a pleasure, watching him call, the UConn victory yesterday for me personally, and I think it was, for him to call the UConn victory on his last broadcast on CBS was extra special. So I agree with everything you said. So with this, we are going to wrap up our first golf podcast with Dr. Dan Kessler. So thank you again for your insight into the basketball and now with Masters. And let's see on Sunday, and we'll be watching.
Enjoy the golf.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Bye.